Hello guys, and welcome to the Fallout 76 Beginner's Guide. Today we're going to be talking about the Pet class. You're pretty much your starter. One, you can pick a loadout. You can do Fresh Dweller or Battle Ready. Battle Ready is what I recommend for most new players if you just want to get into the game and have more fun faster. Though it depends on what your definition of fun is. If you want to do all of the progression, choose your cards and everything for yourself, and like have a lot more looting, it's like stuff and things like that for your weapons and stuff early on, Fresh Dweller is the way to go. My beginner's let's play is going to be on Fresh Dweller. But let's talk about the Battle Ready Dweller classes for anybody that does want. After you get yeeted yourself through the white light, you get prompted with this menu as well. Firstly, you get to choose which one you want out of them all, with Commando being focused on rifles, Slugger, two-handed melee weapons, pistols, shotguns, and then VATS. This one's primarily with a snub nose and something else I can't remember, so it's a mixture of pretty much this one and this one. But it's more semi-weapons. But let's go on with Commando and show it off first. Yes, I confirmed that loadout. We'll only do the loading screen on this one. Any other next one is just going to be me showing off the classes in tow. But yeah, guys, generally this is just what I'd recommend for a new player. You get given this, you get immediately shown up, and then you're level 20. Like this. And then you gotta go around. So you drop down here, pretty much kill everything in general relatively quickly. Head down here, you realize that the first one's automatic, so it's going to spray them and chew through ammo. And then the second one you get given is the hunting rifle, which is a decent one, but since you can't do specific body parts, you can't hit the head guaranteed. So it's a 2-shot. So it's not as good overall compared to other weapons in the beginner game. Though it definitely gets buffed later on whenever you're using single shot stuff, though automatic is a 10 times better for in-game bosses. This is just the basic of how this class is, though. Just go around and you use a decent amount of ammo. They give you some to get some back. Some enemies can drop ammo, some do not, though, which is the negative of it. And each one has a chance. It's not guaranteed at all, so you're going to be running around for ammo if you're using the auto a decent amount, though it'd be a lot better. Now let's go over what it gives you also. It's the same one for all of them, but you get some leather armor, some apparel. Get out of this and murder that really quick. Go back in here, you get some food items. You get some aid items. The bobblehead changes with every single one. Get the basic stuff right here, basic this stuff, and you get your basic pretty much BPs as well. And you get some overall just small amount of junk things if you want it. A lawn with some basic ammo. That's the basic of generally what you're getting with every class though, so we're never going to talk about that specific stuff again. But we are going to be talking about the perks each time. The perks are going to be the main thing that are going to make each of your classes different. It pretty much just makes you have different starting perks, with ones like concentrated fire, so you can do specific body parts. My bad, I misspoke earlier. So target for the head each time you're going for a body part. If you're going for Commando, make sure to do that. And that's generally what you're going to get though, is Commando. You get some decent amount of these sort of ones that they're helpful, but they're not like the top perks at all. You just get a bunch of general, just basic ones like first aid and stuff, evasive and serendipity, and Scrounger and Action Girl, plus traveling pharmacy are on all the classes. You also get 6 perk paths, so you can possibly even make a second class with just the levels that are given to you. But let's get straight into the next class. Our next class is two-handed melee. As we see, we get a baseball bat with the sharp mod, which is this on it, and then the golf club. But this is really good early on. If you do melee early on, it's really great for basic general mobbing. Though especially with the bat is better, though this is the class I'd say you can choose if the chainsaw and auto ats, if you ever want to look that up on YouTube, looks good to you. Because those are the two-handed melee weapons that you're going to be using later on in game if you're using the, quote, meta pits. Those are probably, like, the best of the best for melee weapons, though there are exceptions with the Headhunter's Axe, which is a new thing that got released this season's really good as well. But melee weapons compared to guns later on sort of fall off, is the way I'd say it. Though if this is your thing, choose it. Like, it's good. It's probably what I'm going to be doing because I don't have a clear defined melee, even, like, character, really. But this is really good early on. Any of these builds, though, you can get later on, like it's just choosing perk cards and stuff. And this game has infinite level up system, so you can use every single build on one character. The only limitation is space in your storage spots. But guys, this is this one. Let's get straight into the perks on it. No, I do not want to open them. So you get Martial Artist, Slugger, and Traveling Pharmacy again. As I said, you get a decent amount of any of these that are just randomly generated the amount that you get. But the main focus on this one's Martial Artist and Slugger. The two ones that you get. It's not that good overall on the perks side, I'd say, because I thought there'd be more. But I guess there's not on this one. Guys, that's the basic of the melee class if you want to choose it. The next class that we got for starters is the Gunslinger with the Western Revolver as the main first weapon, which is really good early on with it being able to one-shot, and the 10mm is the other weapon. Both of these weapons are semi-worthwhile with it seeming that people have been up here killing this stuff. Though the 10mm is definitely weaker, being like the combat rifle, it's an auto gun. Later on, pistols sort of have an issue compared to other weapons in different classes, with them being weaker comparatively, though there are builds for Gauss pistols, the Crusader pistol, the Alien Blaster, and the Plasma pistol, if any of those incite you, though they're mainly focused around the auto pistols, not semi. Just because auto weapons in general can melt bosses faster in this game, that's just sort of how it is. Though pistols generally are decent early on, with ammo being really easy to farm and get a lot of it. Otherwise, the perks on it, though, are just Crack Shot, Concentrated Fire, which are both different. For the opinion of this one, gets a decent amount of its own perks with Gunslinger and Modern Renegade as well. Both these are all perks that sort of buff it overall. But guys, yeah, this one gives you more perks than normally on each of them, though it's not anything you can just farm if you ever wanted to switch to pistol build, so perk cards aren't that useful in general. You just get them later on anyways. But guys, let's move on to the next class. The next class on the list, guys, is the Shotgunner. You get a pump action shotgun, and then you also get a 10mm for more longer range, is pretty much the reason for the 10mm, even though it's not that good at it. With the shotgun being honestly probably better, though its damage fall off in shotguns in this game are pretty atrocious in general. Though, with exceptions, pretty much there are better ones. They're normally known for being used as cripples, though, in the game, though there are good shotgun builds with the Gauss shotgun and other ones that are just really can put in the damage. But this is overall, it's just generally how the shotgun class is. You pretty much, it's the one that I'd recommend if you want an easy. It's just as good as melee early on, with you pretty much getting a return rate on your shells pretty regularly, like you're gonna get your shells back. Like it's a 50-50. Ghouls have issues where they just don't drop pretty much ammo at all, but you got 5 shells there. That is the reason why shotgun class might be something you might want to pick up, though you are going to be repairing your weapon and keeping up with ammo. The 10mm, though, is the pretty much long range thing, though as we showed before, it's not great, at least early on in this game. Well, let's get straight into the perks for this one. No. We get some scatter shot, shotgunner, and then we only get 1 traveling pharmacy. A skeet shooter on our perception as well. And otherwise, it's just the same things that we get prior. You do get evasive and serendipity all the way up again. So pretty much every single build has sort of tankiness to it, where it's going to be decently hard for enemies to hit you, or if they do, it's going to not do that much damage. But that's just how it's going to be with you getting a free set of leather armor and also just 2 decent guns. The shotgunner, I think, is really good early on, just because you get short pump action shotguns a lot, so you can also mod your own and craft your own shotguns relatively easily. If you do not want to keep repairing this one over and over, so you can also craft higher level ones and move up. So that one's the reason why I think shotgunner is one of the best choosing classes in the beginning, though they all have their strong suits. So let's get on to the next class. The last class on the list gives you a 10mm pistol and a short combat rifle. They are both semi-auto guns, though that's not the ones that I remember or thought that it gave you. I thought it gave you a snub and a hunting rifle, but this is the VATS class. So you get to see the resistances, and pretty much you're going to want to be in VATS generally on this class. If you're not going to do that much damage. It is one of the weaker classes, I think, in the beginning, with at least the weapons that it gives you at the start. Mainly because your AP regen is really slow and abysmal, especially since you're going to be running around and sprinting on 2 feet and not using fusion cores. Though it does give you modified guns, which both look fine. It will treat you fine just as well as any of the other starter classes, since you can easily switch between them all, but this one I think is the weaker one out of them all. Well, let's take a look at the perks. You get Traveling Pharmacy again, you get Crat Shot, you get Awareness, you get Concentrated Fire, though I think with the VATS one you should get all 3 on Concentrated Fire. Oh my gosh. They're hungry today. Get back on it again. But yeah, you just get parts of certain builds is what it generally is with this one. Is the issue of me in it. So you don't even get any riflemen for that bonus. That's the one I'd rather get. It's just like, you get part of the gunslinger thing with, like, awareness being given to you. And then you got, like, 3 points in the action boy, so you get your AP points regenerated faster than anybody else generally. Though you can just pick that perk up after leveling up 3 times, so I don't think it's necessarily worth it to choose this one if you're starting one. Especially if you're doing your 1 class. The hunting rifle is way better for VATS. I think this is unironically the weakest class out of them all. But guys, let's get on to the last little thing with the 1 class that starts you at level 2. We are not going to be going over each of these in this video, but if you click Fresh Dweller, it also pats you up, and it just gives you a starting card, is pretty much what it does, and also gives you a 10% damage bonus, or it gives you something to each of these. It just gives you a card. Since I am going with melee this one, I'm choosing Slugger as my starter, and it just gives you an extra point. Into melee. So your first one is going to be into strength if you choose Slugger, which is the only thing I'm doing. Because I want the early melee builds, because they're good. Just bossing, I know if I'm wanting to do solo bosses, I can do melee, but it's not going to be the best. And you did give it a 10mm, a combat knife, which is what I'm going to use. Some leather armor, your basic backpack and stuff. And then we go to our notes and see what we got, and we just had a survival backpack, not the other things. Guys, that's the basic of generally all of the classes. This one is going to be the one you're going to want if you want to experience the full game by yourself, though it's also going to make it take longer for you since you're going to have to level up. You're also going to be weaker than the other classes. But you will still be fine with these early on levels. You're going to hit a higher level pretty quickly. And what I'm going to do next episode is show you a quick way for beginners to level up quickly. I'm going to take this character to level 50. But guys, I'll be seeing you guys later. Bye.